Hey y'all, this is Cheyenne again. Today I spent my 4 hours of work, which is something that I've prayed for many years, to have the freedom to just work at home at my own pace, doing my own projects, and seeing what comes of it. And now I'm so grateful that I have the space to do that. I've always been one to pray for freedom, like freedom from corporate structure, freedom from many responsibilities, freedom from just the way that you're supposed to do things or that is expected of you, instead of just living your life like in a way that feels natural for you. And that seems like such like a sin to even ask for. It seems like so lazy, like to have the freedom in your day to live your life, which sounds crazy to like even think about, because we're we're just like every other animal. We're here to live, to experience life. Like, we're not here to support capitalism. We're not here to um, work for other people, making their dreams come true. It's just a shame that things are so expensive nowadays that people have to revert to that if they're not entrepreneurially minded, if that's even the way to say it. So it's such a shame that a lot of people have to live lives that they hate from beginning to end, just so that they're able to survive. And of course, we know all of this, but what are we going to do about it? That's the question. Everybody isn't meant to be a business owner. However, I believe that everybody is meant to create. There, even the least creative people, because I've always been one of those, thought that I was one of those. We have dreams. We have things that we want to do with our lives, and maybe those things don't pay a bunch of money, but I'm sure there's somewhere on this planet that you could go and still make a living. And I feel really privileged to say that, so I kind of want to take it back. But at the same time, there is there are ways to get to these places. There are many ways. I watched a video not too long ago about a lady who said she escaped poverty by moving to a different country. I think she moved to Thailand or something. But she escaped poverty in America by leaving America. And the way that she did it was she started paying her bills on a credit card and just paying it off every month, just paying like her normal regular bills and then just paying it off. But she got a credit card that she would get points from, and she used those points to buy a one-way ticket for her family. And it was in a place that she could afford to live. And they found jobs and, things like that. So there are ways to get out of this American shithole, honestly. And I just feel like I'm so privileged, to live in America, but at the same time, it's a false sense of privilege, because we're made to think that other people aren't living well because they don't have all the things that we have. There are certain instances where that is true, but other instances are us just saying, oh, we can't get Amazon. Wouldn't want to do that. We would have to grow all our own food. Wouldn't want to, like simple things like that in many different countries, that's the lifestyle just looks very slow and not something that we would be comfortable with in many cases. But tangent that I'm on, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I just want to encourage anybody out there that's living a life that they hate to do exactly what you feel is the best decision for you. For you. And an example of this for me, like I have a husband, I have a kid. I was making, I guess, like 120, I think it was 122 a year at my job, but at my last job, but I hated it so much. I hated it so much. My husband makes good money as well. I'm not sure what he makes per year, but I don't even think it's that much, as much as I was making. But anyway, we decided that we were just gonna live on off of less, and me stay home and create and see what comes of that. This may not be like a permanent situation. I'm hoping that it is. But what was pulling my strings, and my husband was just on the same page of just wanting me to be happy and healthy, was getting out of that job. So we took the risk. We took the risk, and it is working. It's working. The scariest things have not happened, like, oh, what if we don't have enough money to buy food for our child? What if, so many different things came through our minds, but we're making it work because we're being true to ourselves. And I can't preach that enough. Like, just doing what you know to do for your truest, authentic living. There's gonna be a net. There's gonna be a net to catch you when you jump and take the risks that you want to take. The things that you've been wanting to do for years that you've just never gotten around to, or you don't feel like you have time for them, or you don't have the energy for them. I think that once you start taking little tiny baby steps towards them, that things will start to, they'll start to come together. Another example of this for me is an online course that I have honestly been working on for many, many years. It's finally coming together at this point. I work on it for like an hour a day now that I have that to work on it. But before, it was just like on my list as a thing that I would eventually touch. And then I would, when I had, some time to myself and the energy to do this, I would just like start brainstorming or adding to it in some type of way. But now it still hasn't revealed itself fully to me. But I'm actually putting some effort into it, like more effort into it. So I'm sure that the winding roads will come to a destination at some point, because that's how it always works. I didn't really know what I was going to talk about in this video today, but I just decided I was going to show up today, because I just don't want to get out of the habit, because it's easy to fall out of habits and allow fear and doubt and everything else to lead you astray. And I had a few things that I wanted to talk about, but I wasn't really confident in any of them. I just knew that I was going to show up. I did the opposite of one of the things that I put on here. I do want to speak on one thing. I do want to speak on two things, actually. Um, so prayer has been a new practice in my life because of my detachment from Christianity and anything in that realm. I ended all prayer and all things of that nature years ago. But this is one thing, since I've been reading The Artist's Way, I have been doing a sort of prayer. So my prayer is more about decision and speaking that decision to become a specific person into existence. So I read a book called Psycho-Cybernetics about a year ago, and it's written by a plastic surgeon who saw differences in people's character, abilities, strengths, all those things. They became different people when they received the face that they thought could be that. So the idea behind that is when you decide to become a person and do the things that that person does, you are that person. So let me give a better example. So an example in my life is I have decided to be a YouTuber. I've made that decision. What does that person do? They show up behind the camera. That's what they do. I am a YouTuber. I'm not making a dime from it, clearly, but that's what I am. I'm a YouTuber, and the rest will come. Also, I've made the decision that I'm a yogi. And what do yogis do? They do yoga. I do yoga in the morning by myself as soon as I get out of bed. And me and my husband do yoga together in the evenings. That's a decision that I made, and that's where my prayer is now. I tell myself I am deciding to become, I have decided to become this specific person. Please, all one, that's what I call my God, because the definition of all one for me is all things excluding nothing. So everything, all things, some people say universe, all that. I say all one. I have decided to become this person. Please, all one, provide the resources to continue this journey. That's a prayer for me, and that has been working for me. That's my spiritual practice, and it has allowed me to become everything that I am, a stay-at-home wife, a YouTuber, a person who eats only organic foods, a writer, everything that I am, a trader. Everything that I am has come because of that. Deciding to become the person and doing the work to become it, or to be it. Yeah. Also, something that's been helping me a lot is just keeping things simple, keeping things as simple as possible. Like, as I said before, I used to be a Scrum Master, and the way that I would keep things, the way to keep things simple for the dev teams is meetings, same time, same place, every single day. And that's the simplicity necessary for people to just get into the habit of doing this and to feel comfortable and to not have to think too much about like, oh, so what time are we gonna meet this day? And less conversation, less meetings, things like that. We just know the time, we know the place, and we know it's gonna be every day. Nothing to think about there. Keeping things as simple as possible. So anytime I have a goal, I work on it at the same time, same place, every day. Nothing to think about there. Everything else has to stop. I have my alarm set, and that's what I do that time, at that time every day. For some reason, I'm nervous because I'm speaking about my truest self and what I do. This is really vulnerable for me, and a lot of people think that I'm weird for having for feeling vulnerable about things that are just normal to others. That's kind of been like the story of my life because I'm just such a private person. So this is just just the opposite of me completely, but it's very expansive and it's where I want to go. Uh, yeah, I think that's all I want to say today. I hope that someone can relate to this. Um, yeah.